Okay, so I just finished like recording a Burst of Destiny set review, and the video ended up being way longer than I thought. I thought I could get it like under 10 minutes. However, like the video was like ended up being almost 20 minutes. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably just gonna split the video up into two parts because I know most people don't want to watch a 20-minute long video. So yeah, even though I didn't address like every card in the set, I think I addressed most of them. So yeah, I'll just split the video up into two parts. Burst of Destiny just came out in the OCG, so I want to do a set review of it since we know everything. I want to do these videos on every single set that comes out now or product in the OCG and the TCG. Just kind of give my thoughts on them and kind of look at from the lens of not just like the competitive, but also like casually. Like look at the new archetypes support for the old ones. You know how good the legacy support is. Like some sleeper cards that I think are really good. So yeah, let's just take a look into the set. I won't be going over every single card because I think the video would just take too long. But I'll go over like just the really good stuff and like the things that I think you should be aware of in the set. So this set is actually really good. I think it's probably going to be the best core set in 2021, mainly because how much like of a meta impact it will have. It has two really strong archetypes, which are the Flundereeze and the Xiangjian. That's a lot better than like any other like set we've had. Like the last couple core sets, including Dawn of Majesty. Like Dawn of Majesty comes out in like a month in the TCG, and I don't think that set will have like too much meta impactful stuff. It really depends on what the TCG exclusive archetype is that we don't know yet. But yeah, just looking at Blazing Vortex, it's like, not that great. Lightning Overdrive is like slightly better, but like still, like most of the legacy support archetypes and like the new archetypes introduced to them are just not strong enough to compete with the current meta. Dawn of Majesty is better than both of those, but like still not that great. But I think Burst of Destiny is insane. Like just looking at the archetypes, like I said, the Xiangjian, like this archetype is like incredibly good. Like it has like an amazing card like Moye, who is like one of the biggest issues with extract monsters is that like they need at least two monsters, like an Xyz monster, a fusion, like a link. However, the way that Konami has like made them easier to do now is just have like one card Xyz like Zodiac, or you have like one card fusions like Red Eye Fusion, Verte Anaconda. Like it's the idea to take away the other monster to make it like a one card Xyz or one card fusion, and then or another way that they've done it is that the monster that summons immediately replaces itself, or the monster used for its fusion or like Xyz material immediately does something like a beneficial effect, like it lets you draw a card, search a card to offset the cost of like using two monsters for an Xyz or a fusion. Moye does both of them, so it's like a plus because it's a one card synchro all by itself. All you need to do is reveal a Xiangjian or a war monster in your hand, and it also gives you a card back when you synchro it. Like it doesn't even restrict what kind of synchro it needs to be used for like either of these effects, which is like amazing. Like Tai A is another really good one. His effect, like he lets you also do like a one card synchro as long as you use nothing to banish. Like this archetype is already looking like really good. They have their synchro monster is like a negate, and then their like bigger synchro monster, like the level 10. The level 8 guy is a monster negate. The level 10 guy lets you banish one from the grave and from their field, which is really strong. They already have a card that is like acts like a rotor for their archetype, like the Dragon Sword. It'll just let you add a Xiangjian, or if you control Synchro, you can add any worm. They have a Spiritual Peak, which is like a reborn for their archetype, which is really strong. The two traps, they have like an Icarus attack, the sudden shift, like that's pretty good. And like I think this archetype is like already way better than anything like in Blazing Vortex, Dawn of Majesty, Lightning Overdrive. Yeah, like this archetype like seems amazing already. And then when you take a look at Flundereeze, like their archetype's amazing. Like their boss monsters are like insane. Empen, he's not only is he a searcher, he lets you search any Flundereeze spell and trap, but he also gives you an additional normal summon. And then when he's tribute summoned on the field, your opponent's attack position monsters can't activate their effects or special summon. Like that's insane because link monsters can't go in defense mode, so like no link monster can activate their effect while he's on the field. He's also a pretty big 2700, and his third effect is actually like kind of relevant. Like his third effect, he'll just like if it battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, he'll just have their attack and defense, and by banishing one card from your hand. And like that effect is pretty much free because all the Flundereeze, the little monsters, they have effects where they if they're banished while you normal summon a winged beast, you just add them to your hand the next turn. So it's basically a free effect for him. It's like that's amazing. And then the other I guess kind of boss monster for the deck is like when it's tribute summoned, you can summon 3 with Snowell, and then it has UCT effect. It randomly does piercing. But the UCT effect is insane. Banish one card from your hand, change all special summon monsters to face down position. Like all the monsters your opponent controls. Like that's insane. It's Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and then it also does piercing. Like, these boss monsters like are incredibly strong. The little monsters are all amazing because they're searchers. They give you additional normal summon, and then when they're banished, when they leave the field, they become banished. But that's fine because they'll just add themselves back when another winged beast is banished. So it's like, they're just free cards. Like, this archetype has everything: strong monsters. They have searchers. They have cards that like the monsters will immediately, like, they have good I guess resource management. Like like what they have is like actually really really insane. And then they have their own version of Monarch Stormforth. Like the fact that you can just like tribute like one of your opponent's monsters is like insane. Like the fact that Unknown Wind lets you do that, and it's like one card your opponent controls and like one monster you control. Like the thing is, it doesn't even have to be a monster your opponent controls. Like you can just send one card they control. Like that's amazing. And then it also has a graveyard effect. You reveal two of your the winged beast monsters, and you just put the like back in the bottom of your deck. Like that's insane. The field spell is also really great for them. It lets them like search Flundereeze, but then you have to banish one, and then you immediately banish a different one from your deck. Like that's amazing too, because like I said, when you normal summon a Flundereeze, you just get that Flundereeze back, and then the little guys all let you have like additional normal summons. So like that's great. And like one of the most insane cards is Flundereeze and the Scary Sea. If you control a face-up tribute summon monsters and no special summon monsters, if your opponent would conduct a special summon, your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of the turn. You negate that special summon, and if you do, return that monster to their hand, but they can conduct 3 normal summons. Like that's crazy. In the mirror match, this will be like awful, but like against every other deck wants to special summon, because in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, special summoning is just so insane. Like the fact that this does this is like crazy to me. It's a counter trap too, which is like really really nice. They have another trap that's like not too great, but yeah, overall like this archetype's amazing. They have like everything they need like to be like a competitive archetype. Like there's no doubt in my mind that when this and the Xiangjian, when they come out, they'll be amazing. Like these will definitely be like meta contenders for sure, and they probably will be top tier. There's also another really, really good card, Ecclesia, the Virtuous of White. She helps not only the Xiangjian, but like Albus. What she lets you do is like fusion summon on your opponent's turn, which is like the whole point of Albus is like he's a super poly, but he's like way worse because he fusion summons with a monster your opponent controls. But like his issue is, unlike super poly, he does not have the clause that your opponent cannot respond to this, which makes him way worse. So like her idea is like if you like normal summon her, they want you to be able to super poly on your opponent's turn, but before they set up their big like negates and like their big boss monster. So even though like I don't think the Albus part of her will be too good, like Albus got some support here, but I don't think it's like enough to fix it. But I think this would be great in Xiangjian. So yeah, the new archetypes that they introduced, like the Flundereeze and the Xiangjian, they are awesome. There was another new archetype. It's really incomplete though. It's the Icy Jade. The Ice Jade, I don't think that they're bad. I just think they don't have enough cards to be a complete archetype. Like they don't have a win condition yet. Like their effects are like pretty good already, just because like they send the water monsters from the hand and stuff, and it's like as long as the Atlantean Dragoons exist, like this effect is gonna be really good. Yeah. So like Dragoons is just kind of like just like a band-aid for most water archetypes that like involve anything with like sending monsters from like your hand or deck. Yeah, the fact that like Dragoons exist, like it kind of just acts like a band-aid and just lets water archetypes be better than they actually are. So yeah, in terms of like the new archetypes in Burst of Destiny, I think like they're astonishing. Like they're astonishingly, like I think they're phenomenal. Like I think the Flundereeze and the Xiangjian are both going to be like top meta contenders, and I think the Icy Jade will get more support too, so maybe they can get better. But yeah, remember this is just their first wave of support, and the Xiangjian and the Flundereeze are already looking this good. Like, imagine if they get more support in the future. Like, I'm not saying that the support they get in the future will be, like, as good as the stuff they got here, but, like, they'll still get more support. So, like, even if it's bad, who cares? Like, the stuff they got here is already amazing. So this archetype only got 1 card of support in Burst of Destiny, but I think this 1 card alone is insane. Like, I think this is probably the best support that any archetype got in this set, and it's Evil Twins Trouble Sunny. Evil Twins, it's a Link 4, and that it completely changes how, Evil Twins play, and it's like something that they really need, a strong boss monster that can end out that does something. Like, basically, there's 1 card that Evil Twins Home, or Live Twins Home, that like it was an emergency teleport for their archetype, and it would let them summon a monster from the deck. And then for people who don't know, Kiskilla and Lolila will special summon the opposite of them if there's no other monsters you control, which is amazing. However, the one issue that card had that made it bad was the fact that it will only let you summon Evil Twins from the extract for the rest of the turn, and that was such a huge restriction. At least Kiskilla and Lolila, the Link monsters, will let you summon Fiends, so you can summon like the Nightmare and Abomination for the Unchained. But like, yeah, this one card fixes it because it makes that card playable because you have something in the archetype to actually summon. Like, this is amazing. It'll let you summon Kiskilla and the Lil from your graveyard during your opponent's turn. You get a draw and you get a pop. And then the second effect is also amazing because it lets you banish it from the graveyard and you send one Evil Twin monster from your hand deck or face-up field. Like, that's not an issue because Kiskilla and Lil can bring themselves back as a quick effect during like the main phase in the opponent's turn or your turn. So that's amazing. And then like it just sends a card on the field to the graveyard. It doesn't target, doesn't destroy. So yeah, like this one card that they got is like amazing. I think it pushes them up to like tier 1 status. Like in my opinion, I think this like could be one of the best decks in the format, if not like the best deck of the format, you know? It really depends on like what else exists because like I said, this won't be in the TCG until like the end of October. So yeah, it's gonna be late in the year. But like if the meta like doesn't change that much, I can definitely see this deck being tier 1.